with this case number of EBC.
Thank you, Commissioners. And then continuing with the briefing on this case, as we have reflected, that is how we measure our success as a political killing task team, as well as to see the effectiveness of our strategy. When we start the investigation of a case, we'll investigate the motive and then we'll put blocks in terms of how the incident happened. All the blocks will be red when the investigation starts. Then as we move with the investigation, the target is all the boxes to be green. And then we'll say we have dealt with the whole syndicate or grouping that was involved, that is responsible for that contract killing. On this case, the only outstanding is the second firearm, which is a 9mm pistol. That will talk to those ad hoc dockets, intelligence-driven operations that are continuous, because it's not easy to get the firearm that was used. But then those ad hoc intelligence operations and continuous ballistic analysis, it assists us a lot to get to the whole box to be, all boxes to be green. So what is outstanding there is that one firearm. Maybe another second issue that one would like to quickly explain on this is the one that talks to the point of the bone of contention in terms of allegations when you talk to the arrest and charging of the hit orderer, which was, according to us, identified in 2019 already as the former and late mayor, who was then arrested by the team on the 17th of March 2019. So it's not true that when the team was established in 2018, this particular individual was arrested already. Then was released by court together with the second high-profile municipality manager after a week. And then the investigation continued. Maybe to pause on the chair, because it's one of the short story that one, if he cites it, it will remain on our minds for a long time in case we are confronted with this misinformation. The late mayor of Gwala municipality was released by court for insufficient evidence together with the municipality manager. And then during the arrest, we had confiscated his licensed firearm. And then because we were still busy with the investigation now, according to him, he's released. His release meant that he must get back his firearm. And then indeed, then after the court interdict, we had to give back his licensed firearm that he used in killing himself on the same day of giving it back to him. Hence, then, as time moved on, we could only manage to rearrest and recharge the municipality manager without the mayor who's deceased. Then moving to the next example, another case that is most of the time also on the media, the killing of a Democratic Alliance councillor and a chief whip in Umgeni municipality. We again had managed to turn all the boxes to green, except of course for the firearm that is still outstanding. That is the case that if we check on our 1-to-1 dockets, as we gave the updated report those dockets are now 120 because he was charged then on one of those dockets that were under investigation during the movement of those dockets. But the misinformation there was the team that was not willing to work together with the AfriForum private investigators. The team did not see the reason why the municipality will contract private investigators for payments, whereas there is free services by government to investigate the case of the councillor. And then that is the case that has been completely investigated. It took a little bit longer again to completely investigate that case because of the issues that the team was having with the AfroForum. Our reports were always talking to the AfroForum acting not far away from defeating the ends of justice and obstructing the political killing task team from doing their work. But then at the end of the day, that case is now completed. I'm not going to be long on the third case, Commissioners. It's maybe with your permission, Commissioners, if we may jump that and go to the next case, because this is a parallel to the next case. Where the local traditional leader was charged for cases where the team successfully got 100%. All the boxes are green, including the firearm. But why we are flagging it? We are flagging it because the previous case is the case that the team registered against those to defeat the ends of justice during the investigation of that case. Why we are flagging the case? It's because one of them, we do not know why one of these people that are charged and convicted already, all of them, why then it sounds like he is the only person that is involved in this particular case. It also demonstrates that you can have a syndicate even on a defeating the ends of justice case. So in this case, it's not only one person that was charged and convicted, it's the whole lot. Sergeant Dlamini, famous nowadays, who's still in prison waiting for his sentence, was arrested together with another former police officer, Lieutenant Kenneth Ndlovu, who is the brother of the hit orderer, because the two of them were coordinating this bribery. So as former Sergeant Dlamini is becoming famous for being convicted on this case, there are others that are with him waiting for their sentencing, including a former Lieutenant Colonel of the South African Police Service. Moving to the next, it's the one that again was successfully investigated with all identified suspects arrested and charged, led by the former councillor Ngiba. They were arrested, all of them, during the year 2022. The matter is currently on trial. The main misinformation and complaint was that they've been denied bail for all these years, appeal after appeal, higher court after another higher court, but they've been still denied bail. So they will personalize that to the task team having not being fair. Then moving to the last example, it's another case that I'm not going to take the commissioners in details, but we flagged it because it gives a picture of the investigation that we have been referring to at the University of Fort Hare. In between, there are cases from 2022 that were reported that are related to the officials of the university. The three of them happened during 2022, and then the last one being the one of January 2023 is the one that led to the complaint and for the team to be brought in after the last murder case. And then the team managed then to take all those cases, including the ones of 2022, to court. With the whole lot, the list of syndicates that were involved in those hits on the right. And then on the left, because the motive was found to be fraud and corruption in the university. And then the docket was also registered, and then other additional 7 plus 8 suspects were arrested and charged on that parallel case of fraud and corruption in the University of Fort Hare. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, General. You've taken us through these cases, and you've said that one of the reasons you deal with these cases is because there have been complaints that have been leveled against the task team about the manner in which these cases were handled. There will no doubt be much more detailed complaints submitted to the Commission and questions that would need to be answered from the task team later. I assume that you would make yourself available to answer those questions when they come.
That is correct.
Thank you. All right, so I think you are about to now conclude. So it's paragraph 53 is where you are in your statement.
And in
paragraph 53.
In conclusion, Commissioners, given the statistics that we have provided to and detailed account of the political killings task team operations, from us, when we use all these yardsticks, it's evident that the team indeed has achieved remarkably so, and especially in dealing with contract killings of any nature, the consistent reduction, the high number of suspects arrested and charged, as well as convicted, are a proof that this approach is indeed working, and therefore any consideration to disband the PKTT cannot be reasonably be attributed to the issues of poor performance or lack of impact, because the evidence presented strongly supports that the team and the approach utilized is successful. Thank you.
Thank you. And before we move on to the next part of your evidence, I just had a question about whether, when you talk about the complaints, whether you received the complaints in any formal manner where you're able to respond. So you talk about those cases where you've been criticized. Were there formal complaints or charges that you responded to at any point?
Thank you. Commissioners, the other reason why these 5 cases were used as both the examples of effectiveness of the team, also as maybe an introduction of the subject that we are still going to get to, the disbandment of the task team. It's because we normally get those allegations via the media with individuals writing on these specific cases about those allegations. So from the political killing task team point of view, we have not received any official complaint. What we have also realized is these complaints are fluctuating, or they are moving with the events. We saw them coming thick and fast when the confusion of the disestablishment started. They were recycled on the media, these complaints on these 5 cases.
Thank you.
Mayor. General, I seem to have understood the evidence, I think it might have been of the National Commissioner, referring to where he was listing the complaints, pretty much the same list. But there was the one that involves the Dlamini. I don't remember what his title is. And that seemed, as I understood it, it was a complaint about the conduct of the PKTT. With the reference, specific reference was Dlamini, Mr. Dlamini, who was singled out. But there seemed to be suggested that the complaint against him was symptomatic of the conduct of members of the PKTT, which is outside of the law, behavior that is outside of the law. We don't have any detail now about what Mr. Dlamini was being accused of, but is that correct, that he was a member of the PKTT when the conduct complained of occurred and for which he was ultimately convicted, if that is what he was convicted for?
Thank you, Commissioners. Indeed, former Sergeant Dlamini was part of the PKTT and was also part of the team that was investigating that particular case that I referred to, that is a motive of their case. Then for reasons that are information between the employer and the employee, one cannot get into details. But then there was a reason for him to be withdrawn from the political killings task team, and thereafter then became part of the persons of interest on this bribery case or attempted defeating the ends of justice.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. General, we're now going to turn to Part B of your evidence, which deals with evidence of infiltration and the influence of organized crime. Can you take the Commission through paragraph 54, explaining why you've chosen to